So I have a broad question to start with because I might have seen your comment on my clip from my interview with Marsha about confident actors. So I wanted to take that and pose it to you in a different way. I know confidence top to bottom is near impossible in this industry, but what would you say is the key to maintaining even like a little degree of it to forge forward with positivity about your work?
Oh man, it's the hardest thing to do. I have struggled more with confidence in my work than I ever have in my life. I guess part of the key, I have taken great solace in working with actors who are better than me, who have been around for a lot longer than me, and hearing from them that it never gets easier. I know that sounds dark, but something about knowing that you're not alone in that experience gives you the the confidence to at least keep going, I suppose.
Well, you're definitely surrounding yourself with some good ones because Marsha is hands down one of my favorites. So, what is something about what Marsha does for you on set as a scene partner that you wish more actors brought to set?
She's honest in her work. Her range is incredible. The way that she can take a breath and sink in and open her eyes and completely transform in front of your eyes is so awe-inspiring. But Marcia Stephanie is also the kind of scene partner and the kind of friend who will tell you when something sucks. And there is nothing more valuable than having people like that in your corner. She will tell you kindly, but she will tell you to take another crack at it. And I wish more people were able to kindly let you know when you should give it another whack.
I think there's a real art to be able to do that the right way. And it makes me even more impressed by her work.
Yep, me too.
So from one scene partner to another here, I did want to ask you about working with a baby so much on this movie. My first question actually is, was there ever a fake baby on set or was it always a real infant?
So rarely. I have never been a part of something where that involved children and babies where we used the fake babies so little. Like, it was incredibly ambitious, but Julia and I spoke a lot about, particularly Julia, how important having the baby present was for this film. Because while we talk so much about this being a journey that Jean undergoes, it's really it's a partnership. It's a developing of their relationship, and it's a journey that they largely undergo together. So being able to see the baby's face and being able to watch the baby grow, we actually shot primarily in chronological order. So you literally get to watch this baby grow up before your eyes. I mean, it was extraordinary, but holy shit, was it hard.
What is an example of a time on set when working with a real infant forced you to adapt or change something as you were going through a scene?
It happened every single day. But the biggest example, because we were concerned about what the story implications of it would be, is that there's a scene with Jean and Cal in the diner where Jean sort of spills her guts to Cal and finally lets him in and lets him know who she is. And one of the things she talks about is her lack of confidence in her relationship with Harry, but mentions that she sings to him. And there was a scene in the film before that scene where you saw Jean singing to Harry and you saw how capable she was and how close they were before she realizes it. And we felt that that was important for the audience to get to see it and understand that even though they can and everyone else can, that Jean can't see it herself. But that day, the babies were not having it. We tried over the course of a couple of different days to get that scene, and they just were not into my singing. And we ended up cutting the scene. But then, and this is another gift of working with babies, there was a day much later in the film. We were shooting in the cabin. It was a late night. The babies were kind of tired, but in a good mood. And we were messing around and I started humming Natural Woman, and our DP picked up the camera and pointed it at us. And the baby was, I forget which one we were working with that day, probably Justin, but the baby was sort of reaching for me and interacting with me in a way that we could only have hoped for then. And somehow later in the film felt even more powerful. They kept us on our toes though, for sure.
What a cool thing to have had come up like that, because that's such a powerful moment.
Yeah.
So also, This is a first feature for you as a producer, and that's a pretty huge accomplishment. Even with all of your experience on sets thus far, is there anything about what it takes to produce a feature that kind of caught you off guard or surprised you?
The length of time it takes, which was also, by the same token, a huge gift and one of the unexpected pieces of moving into this role as a producer in addition to being an actor. But I first read the script and it can take much, much longer than this, but I first read the script in 2018, and we were still in the sort of late stages of script development, developing a relationship with Amazon and sort of asking them to support this film in the way that we felt like it deserved. And of course, given the relationship that I had with them, we knew that they would. But also, all the way through pre-production, all the way through post-production. I had never been through a full post-production process on a film before. And it's now I understand what goes on in all that time when, as an actor, you're waiting for this movie to come out going, my God, what's taking so long? Now I know very intimately. But it was also really exciting to be able to spend, especially on the front end of the project, that much intimate time with the character and to have that additional context for from the script development process, and also to be able to have the other producer, the writers, and the director in constant conversation regarding the project and the role. Made me a better actor too.
All the time that went into it is well worth it. It's fantastic. Before they kick me out of here, I want to ask you about the Golden Arm, because I'm a big Sam Raimi fan.
Me too.
I know what happened with the viral clip, but I'm curious from your perspective, with that clip that goes out there, the whole episode overall almost felt like a little bit of an in-joke in a very classic Sam Raimi style. And that clip goes viral without the ending. So do you feel like it was kind of a situation of people, I don't know, getting the joke, but not getting the punchline?
I don't think they got the joke. I think that was the most frustrating part about it, because you would know, as a fan of Sam Raimi, I mean, the huge reason to do this project, I had this meeting with Sam Raimi, having been familiar with his work from afar. You fall in love with the man instantly. The passion that he has for this practical horror, which is not necessarily a genre that I would have been attracted to, is infectious. It's so exciting. I mean, it was like that on set. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. And you have this experience of someone like Sam Raimi going, more blood cannons, let me pour the blood all over you. And it's camp. It's classic Sam Raimi camp. And so it was kind of a bummer for a project that I think very much was what it set out to be, for this more serious part of the show to go viral so that people could rip it out of that context that truthfully can bring people so much joy.
Well, while it was short-lived, it did bring me some joy. So thank you for that. And again, huge congratulations on this. I can't wait for everyone to see it.